hello. Welcome to LadyGang. I am Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight. Hey, hello. Ladies.
Oh, she's sipping.
We have a straight guy on the podcast today, so you know these dipshits will be losing their minds.
Their minds.
Not only just a straight guy, one out of five of Nsync. Hello.
Yeah. So get your panties ready. It's time for...
Good week.
Yes, it is.
Bad week. Oh, no.
All right, I'll kick this off.
Kick
My
it
good
off
week.
next.
My good week is that I flew into LA for just about 24 hours to attend a 40th birthday party of one of my friends who's been like the ultimate party girl of all
Cute.
party girls our whole lives. Her name is Nikki, and she knows how to have a good time. And she threw this birthday, or her boyfriend actually coordinated the whole thing and created essentially like a nightclub for Nikki in this empty building situation. And all of a sudden, we're partying, we're having the time of our lives. Guess who comes out on stage and performs?
Who?
Nelly.
Oh.
And I was screaming.
Wait.
You don't understand how good Nelly is live until you see Nelly live. You don't know how many songs you know of Nelly.
Nelly went on tour with Florida Georgia Line, and I'm like, this is the best package ever.
It's wonderful. Wonderful. It was.
Did it get hot in there? Did you take off all your clothes?
Yeah. It got real hot in there. The boots with the fur.
I'm sure you were wearing
so
something that like a grandma would wear. So
nope.
there were many layers
The dress code was slutty. So everyone had to dress slutty. Okay. My bad week is I got a message on Instagram.
Oh no.
It's from Absolutely is the handle.
Nice.
I love and admire a woman who isn't shy and embarrassed to burp out loud in front of people. Start making and selling burping videos, please. I would definitely make myself your loyal customer using my bank card to pay you and buy burping content videos from you.
Shut
You
up.
should make videos showing off your burping on command skills. Have you ever thought about doing it? Please consider it. Take it into consideration. I'd love to buy videos from you letting out burps/burping out loud. My bank card will be on standby 24/7 for you if you sell burping content videos. XXXXX.
I love this.
Burping videos are the
I'll
new
do
feet
it.
pics.
I'll do it.
You'll do it?
You guys, I've been trying to up my fiber content because my
What's
pooping is
fiber?
so bad. What's
Oh.
fiber?
No, I thought I thought you were talking about like an app.
Like content. No.
Fiber content. I'm like, is this the new TikTok?
No. I've been trying to eat more fiber.
Okay.
But it makes me so gassy. It's like insane. So I'm like, maybe this is my new
Well,
calling.
absolutely, we'll buy your burp videos.
Well, he needs to message me. I'll do it.
Okay, I'll let him know.
That's so funny.
Oh my God.
I'll go next. So I'm like 3 years too late, but I just got my first Stanley.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I was always like a hydro jug girl. Remember my big ass hydro jug?
We
It's like
remember.
64 ounces. It's like
I
carrying
hear it in my
around
dreams.
a kettlebell. So I was like, I'm going to try out the hydro flask. And I'm like, I get the hype. I think
You mean
I'm
the
like,
Stanley?
or the Stanley. I'm like, this is the shit. I can put it in my car. It's really easy to drink with the straw. Like, I understand the hype now. I'm just like a little bit too late. So I get it now.
Are you going to put stickers on?
No, I'm like, I kind of like this cream one. It's very
I have that
chic,
one.
Are
and
the
it'll match
stickers?
my walls.
Can you wash it with stickers on it?
No, they start to come off after a while, but that's what makes it cool. Like you
is?
hiked a mountain.
Gross.
Oh, well, speaking of hiking a mountain, my bad week is, so, I was talking about Gorpcore recently on the podcast. Now, we posted a social clip on TikTok and it went like mini viral. It got a couple 100,000 views because everybody was talking shit on me because speaking of entering something too late, Gorpcore has been around for like years. I knew this. I saw it on Pinterest and it's like shit from like 2021 or whatever. But everybody was just like, yeah, it's on the way out. Like, way to join the trend too late. So
God.
Okay, first of all, it's not a trend till LadyGang podcast says it's a trend. Okay. That's number one.
That's number one. Yeah, everybody was talking shit on me. But then REI came to my defense in the comments, and they were commenting on everybody talking shit.
What did REI say?
They were just like, they're like hyping me up. They're like, yeah, Gorpcore, get all your Gorpcore shit at REI.
I hope they sent you some things.
Well, I messaged them and I was like, hey, do you want to sponsor my Gorpcore journey? And they're like, fill out this influencer.
Oh, yeah.
That's the worst.
And then
I'm
they
like, when
never
the
to apply.
social media person who knows knows what's up doesn't have the power to gift you that gift card.
I mean, I just want a North Face anorak. That's all I'm asking for. But
Just all she wants is an anorak.
yeah, but I'm behind the times apparently this week.
Anoraks used to be it when I was in 5th grade. Did you guys have that?
What?
Like in
No.
elementary school, the anorak came out, and oh wow, we like every single
you
girl
were
in 5th
rich.
grade. I don't think they were expensive.
I mean, an anorak is just a type of jacket.
Okay. My good week, bad week involves it's called something called sports. I want you guys just to wrap your heads around. It's called sports. It's a thing. For Chris's birthday this year, I got him partial season tickets to the LA Kings. It was a big deal, and I was very excited. And you get like 12 games or
Sugar
something.
mama.
I know. I was really excited about it, and I got him like a sweater and matching sweatshirts and all this stuff. And he's been traveling for work so much, he really hasn't gone to any games. And I have not gone to any games, except I went last week to the game, and I wore my matching LA Kings sweatshirt, which I will only wear until they play the Oilers, and then I switch over to the Oilers. Anyway, so my good week is I finally went to – so my bad week is I went to a hockey game with Chris, and it is me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. This is the 3rd time I've gone to a game with Chris, and every time I go, they lose so badly, like 5-1. They played so badly. And I was like, it takes the joy out. It takes the joy out. So I won't be going ever again. He can go with his friends. But my good week is that when you buy the little mini package, they give you like something in it, like a bonus. So it's like you can do this like party that all the players go to. You can get like a signed jersey, or you can get a Zamboni ride. And I was like, Chris, you have to go on the Zamboni. He's like, I would never go on the Zamboni.
he's
The
so
That's for
Zamboni,
like 8-year-old boys.
I know. He's like, the Zamboni is like, if it's an adult, it's so douchebaggy. And I was like, no, it's not. It's so cute. Look at this man. And he comes around the corner on the Zamboni, and they put him on camera. And then they're like, here he is on the Zamboni. And his name was Chad with two
my God.
Ds.
No, not two
C-H-A-D-D.
Wow.
Oh, no. Chad would love a
And I was
Zamboni
like,
ride.
Chris is right. The Zamboni is for douchebags named Chad with 2 Ds.
I once
no.
worked with a girl whose boyfriend's name was spelled Chad, but he insisted you call him Shad.
No, I dated a Shad. Don't you
did?
remember? He was the last guy that I...
Shad!
Yes, I actually got hooked up with
Did he
Shad.
spell it?
S-H-A-D.
Oh, no.
This
This
person
is
was-
somebody who
he
spelled
wanted
it
to be
Shad.
he wanted to be
But he
called
wanted to be
Shad.
Shad.
No, Shad was the last guy I dated
He was
before Jared.
Canadian.
And then I kept talking about Shad when I went to go visit Jared at Warped Tour. And then all of his bands were like, Jared, how's Shad doing?
Is Shad a nickname for
No,
something?
no, it was his real name. I got hooked up from a Ladyganger. She's like, date my friend Shad. And I was like, okay.
That was your
And you're like,
first
he
mistake.
sounds like he has a good. Shad knows about champagne. Like Shad's kind of fancy, but he's like douchebag adjacent, but in a rich way. Like he wears like what's the girl on New York Housewives that always wears the private jet hat? NetJets. It's like someone who wears a NetJet hat. Like I tell you something, if you have a private jet, you don't wear the hat that they give you for free. You know what I mean?
No.
Like the only people that wear a
Who
NetJet
wore
hat.
it? What housewife?
Bryn wears a NetJet. I think that's how she makes money. I
No,
think she
isn't
gets
it
paid.
Blade? No, I think
It's
she wears a
Blade.
Blade. That's a helicopter.
Either
company.
way, if you
Either way.
have a Blade subscription, you don't wear the Blade hat, okay?
Yeah.
The person who wears the Blade hat is me. The one time my friend took me on her Blade to the Hamptons, and I was so excited because they gave me a hat. It's like the people who go to the Montage in Laguna Beach. When you get your car out of valet, they give you a water bottle and a hat if you want it. But if you wear that hat, like, oh, I'm so rich, I stay at the Montage one time.
yeah.
Chads.
Wealth whispers.
On that
Chad.
note, someone who's truly wealthy,
Yeah.
Chris Kirkpatrick.
Coming up next.
The Lady Gang.
All right, Lady Gang, get ready to say bye to your productivity because today's guest is here to bring the pop and the pizzazz to distract you with secrets bigger than his suits from the 90s. We're talking about the original heartthrob with the most white guys with hair that looks like succulents hair in pop history. He's sold over 70 million records. He's been tearing up our heart for a decade, but this isn't a throwback because he is booked and busy, baby. We're taking him to the beach at Ladyworld. From his boy band roots to what he's doing now, we're going to ask him the questions you've been dying to know, like, does he still know his dance moves? Is there a chance for the reunion? Because he's never answered that before. And how does it feel being a true boy band legend? Please welcome back to the Lady Gang. Please welcome to the Lady Lady Gang, the one and only Chris Kirkpatrick. Yay!
I was going to say, welcome back. That was
I know.
JC. I know we look similar, but
we just had your bud, and he was so incredible. One of the things that we didn't know about JC was how shy he is. He's like a cat. He's a cat lady.
He's definitely he is a cat. He's a cat. He's not a cat lady. He's a cat.
Well, and then
he's kind of aloof, and he really does it takes a lot to get him out, as I'm sure we'll talk about on some things that have happened recently. But yeah, he's tough to get out and even get information out of.
I want to contrast this with how you entered this video thing. We your camera showed, and then all of a sudden you spun around in your chair and you were ready to go.
Oh, really?
That was iconic. Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't mean for that. I was hooking up my computer trying to, like I said, I used to be technologically savvy. And now, I feel like I'm behind the times. Everything's analog. I'm looking around like, oh my God, I still live in the 90s technology wise.
I know, it's hard.
Just contact me on my MySpace.
Yes, right.
Jack would love that because she was a MySpace queen, so she really wants a MySpace.
Yeah. Nice.
Chris, tell me this. I feel like I just want to start here. The very first music video of yours of all time, you are so hot in this music video. I went back. It's the
What?
Ka-crump. What's that music video?
I Want You Back, right?
Okay.
I Want You Back.
Was that the big pants?
Was
Was that the pants with the scuba suit shirt? Yes.
I think they were all big pants.
Okay.
You mean the really tight skin tight shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, that was I Want You Back. Well, that was the European version too, I think.
It's very European.
I'm just telling you. I went back to watch this because listen, people feel a way about the leads and whatever of Nsync. We missed out on the hottest member of Nsync during this video. First of all, sexual prowess of you in this video, the way you are looking into the camera, Chris Kirkpatrick, it made me feel things.
Well, thank you, because this is a first. I've always been known as the funny / rebellious one, not the heartthrob, which I have never pertained to be.
This is what I'm saying. So, Kali, our social media girl, if you're watching this, I want to make a special reel of just Chris giving fire sex looks in this video, and we're going to cut it together.
Fire sex looks.
And then, but this was before the hair. Yeah. I feel like you and our favorite member of Backstreet Boys, they shall but not be named, AJ, it was like almost as if they made one of you have weird hair.
No, actually, believe it or not.
But then JC told us you were a club kid.
Yeah, I was really into a club. I mean, those were times when, especially in Orlando, we had no curfew. So we would go downtown and around midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning and just stay out dancing until 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever it was in the morning. So I just always was in the clubs, always dancing, always, as you can see, spinning records, listening to music. And, that's just how that came about. And I loved Busta Rhymes. I was a huge Busta Rhymes fan. My dog was named Busta. Like, he was just my idol. He was my everything. And we were out doing a video, and I was like, hey, can you put dreads in my hair? Because I also surfed, and it would have made sense. And the dreads just weren't sticking very well. Like, we would do shows and they would fall out, and I'd wax in them, and I hadn't really dreaded them up yet. So they would fall out and they'd be dripping in my face. So I was like, let's do braids. So that's how the braids came about. It's odd though, because I think a few months after that, then AJ came out. AJ's my good friend. I love AJ to death, but AJ was known to bite things that I tried to do all the time.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
He's a little biter, AJ.
I believe that. I want to just shout out that you were just nominated for Grammy this past weekend. Did you guys win?
We lost again.
Oh.
We are 0-4 in the line of Grammys. I actually just text Justin before the Grammys started, and I'm like, hey, we're up. Good luck. I think this could happen, whatever. He goes, it's not going to happen. I was like, all right, I won't watch.
You guys have never won a Grammy?
Nope.
Oh,
never won a Grammy. Maybe for best hair. I don't know.
Well,
Is there a Grammy for that?
It's honestly justice because I saw you on the list and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited they're going to come to the Grammys. And then at the last second, it was like, they're not coming. Was there ever talk of you guys coming together, or it would just be too pandemonium?
No, there was talk about it. There was, I know that on my calendar, there was a hold. I had a hold for the Grammys. So I didn't really book anything that day. But then I think, kind of like you said, last minute, it just wouldn't work out. I mean, Joey's on Broadway, Justin's on tour. So you don't want me, Lance, and JC. We did that a couple weeks ago, and it just was not very exciting.
It was exciting. You went to Madison Square Garden and you saw Justin's show, and it was the three of you, right?
Nope. We were in Palm Springs, actually. I had a show. It was a Palm Springs show. Lance has a house in Palm Springs, so Lance was going to go. Lance threw it out to the group like, hey, I'm going to Justin's show in Palm Springs. If anybody wants to go. I was like, I'm so busy. I've got shows that weekend, whatever. And JC was like, yeah, I'll go. And Joey had the show in New York. And then when it got closer to time, I was like, well, actually, I don't have a show on that day. I have a show the night before. And I looked and I'm like, I'm in Vegas. So yeah, I'll hop over and go see the show. So it worked out great. And we all got together and had made a little history and fun.
Cute.
But you surprised him.
Did
he know? Did he know? Because, okay, from the outside in, for the Nsync fandom, we looked at it and we were like, he didn't know they were coming because he looked over and he's like, why didn't you text me? That's what it looks like on TikTok.
Yeah, well, and that's what it was. And then, afterwards I was like, I did text you. And it was kind of, I think it was maybe 2 days before or the day before, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go. And then when I texted him and said, hey, let's, I'm going to come to the show. I'm going with JC and Lance. Maybe we golf the next day because I knew he was off or something. And I didn't hear from him. And normally I hear from him, but especially when he's on the road, it's hit or miss with whether you get replies back.
Oh, so it was a surprise.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a surprise, but I text him. So I don't know if he just glanced over and he's like, oh, that idiot's texting me something stupid about football or whatever we usually talk about. Didn't really pay attention to it or not, but there it was.
Well, we are very excited because you are headlining our Ladyworld Festival. And first of all, thank you for accepting this offer because we are so excited. When we put together Ladyworld, we were like, what do we want? And we're just like, we want boy bands. And I know that you're a man now, but you're boy banders forever. And the fact, I think what you're doing is really, really cool. Can you explain where this Pop 2K thing came from? And, you're bringing along your friends in O-Town and BB Mac, and we're having Ryan Cabrera and we're having Mark McGrath. But how did this come to be? And what's a show of Pop 2K like?
So I remember probably 8 or 9 years ago, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, I was pitched this concept of Pop 2K, and it was from the O-Town guys, and it was Jacob, and they had a guy, Charlie, who was their manager at the time, who was a very dear friend of mine, and he was talking to me, and he's like, hey, listen, we're doing this pop show. It's O-Town's playing. I don't remember who else was on the bill at that point. I think Aaron Carter was on the bill, or they were talking about getting Aaron. And all these people, and they're like, would you be interested in coming out and doing it? And I was like, well, I'm doing a lot of stuff in the studio and working a lot. Let me see if I can make it work. So as we were talking, they went and they're like, well, let's pitch it to Joey too. Could you, want to pitch it to Joey? Because it'd be great to have both you guys out there, doing, because at the time, Joey and I were doing a ton of shows together and we just had a good rapport doing these kind of duet shows. So, we pitched it and then it came back and Joey was like, they basically brought it to both of us and he was doing all the management type thing for it. Like I said, I was busy doing my own thing and I don't think I really had management at the time. And they came back with a number and Joey was like, yeah, I don't think we can do it for that number, and kind of dropped it. And I was like, my buddy came back to me. He's like, what's going on with this? And I'm like, I don't know. I thought, you turned it over to Joey and his camp. And he goes, yeah, well, they kind of dropped it. So I guess we can't do it. So then I'd been lumped in with Joey. So I was out. So they went and got Lance and Lance started doing the show. And I was like, I would have done the show. You could have just come to me, but instead they came to Joey and I. So So Lance started doing the show, and then Lance said something about or maybe it was management or something, that he just wanted to host it. You know, he didn't feel comfortable yet going out. Now I'm sure he could probably feel comfortable and do it, but at the time he wasn't very comfortable, so he just wanted to host it. And then his babies happened. So he had little kids, and they were doing a show, and he's like, I can't make it. I've got these babies. See if Chris can do it or something. So they came to me. I went, subbed in, and then I became the sub on the show. And then slowly Lance was like, well, I've got my podcast now. I really don't have time to do it. And I kind of took it over.
Damn.
Yeah.
And so what happens during the show? Like, we've seen a little bit online, but basically like you sing Nsync songs, and then O-Town comes, and then you sing BB. Like, what songs are what hits are we getting, Chris?
Well, it changes. It changes all the time. And right now, your show, what's the date on your show?
It's in September.
In September. Okay. So your show is going to be the new show, the completely revamped or different show. But that was another thing that happened. Like, you know, here I was like, yeah, I'll host the show. And I'm standing backstage, and O-Town's out there, and they started doing an Nsync song. And I was like, why are these guys doing, you know, an Nsync song? Like, this is ridiculous. So I grabbed him afterwards, and I'm like, you know, you guys do this Nsync song every time? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'll do the Nsync song. Like, let me come out. So that became, hey, can you also, you know, do this Nsync song that we do? And I was like, okay, I'll do that one. And then, you know, lo and behold, I got a phone call, and they're like, hey, we're doing rehearsals in Phoenix. We need you here February something. And I was like, rehearsals for what? Like, I'm hosting.
They're like,
and
the Nsync songs.
He's like, the Nsync section that we are now adding to the show. And I was like, does this mean my money goes up? And they're like, no. I'm like, all right, whatever.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
So whatever it is, I don't care. So yeah, so we went out and rehearsed and added a couple more Nsync songs, and that built into more. And now again, it's about that time. So we go back in and probably add more. We'll see.
So we're getting a big Nsync section, you're saying?
It's like 3 hours long. We've got fireworks, pyro.
Stop.
It's a couple songs.
Kidding.
It's a couple songs. It's fun.
And then
is there choreography?
Yes, there is. In my old age, and I heard in your little spiel asking if I still knew the choreography. The sad state of what is Chris Kirkpatrick today is that I do know the choreography, and it's because I had to relearn all the choreography to do it in the show with these guys. Some of it's a little different, obviously, but funny enough, we went and did the show in LA, and while we were out there, just did a medley, the 5 of us, of the Nsync songs, and we're doing it, and I was like, just did a couple of the choreography, and Justin looks over and he goes, I knew it. He goes, I knew Chris would be the first one to break out the old choreography. And I was like, yeah, that's because I still have to do it. So, yeah, I kind of got busted on that front.
That's amazing.
But that's what people want. Like, and that's my
Do
whole...
they, though? At
Yes.
our age? Do they?
Yes.
You see the shape we're in? I'm
but we're in the
years
shape.
old.
We're in the shape too. Like, our backs all hurt. Our knees.
Yeah, but
are
you don't
giving.
have to do it if you don't want to. You can sit there and watch the song, and when Bye 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 comes on at the chorus, just go, yeah, okay, that's good for me. I kind of hit it.
But we're not expecting any more than that, is what I'm trying to say. Like, we're all up there.
Well, I think you guys are still really serving it. There are other boy bands. I will not mention the ones, but they were going quite viral for the lack of enthusiasm in their choreography.
Are you talking about 98 Degrees?
If you're going...
No. Further back.
Further back.
Wait, I don't even know.
Wait, I was talking about 98 Degrees.
New kids. Yeah.
Is it bad?
That's like they're more like the Gen X crowd. So like maybe they should reconsider like having their choreography in the show, but you guys still got it and can get it.
I'm a Gen Xer, and I think I'm even older than Joey.
Right, but like your fan base is millennial mostly.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys are, in our minds, you're still with us.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. Geez, with all the stuff going on right now, that's all we need. Hey, Nsync's getting back to do a tribute to Chris Kirkpatrick, who passed away in his sleep last night.
I have to be
I hope
honest.
this doesn't come back to haunt me.
No, and I have to be honest, Chris, like, and we asked JC the same thing. And I know that every time you talk to anyone, which is probably why you don't talk to people that often, someone asks you about the reunion. But I'm not going to ask you about the reunion, but I'm just going to tell you, like, we're in a dumpster fire year. 2025 has been 7 years long. Yeah. And like, the only thing that can make this year okay is the Nsync reunion. So if
you know, it's one of those things. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
it's one of those things that, you know, I think the writing's on the wall, and I think that, you know, everybody sees it. You know, we're not in a vacuum. We're not in a bubble. Obviously, with interviews, with all the stuff we do, you know, I had my podcast for a couple of years that I was doing on the show and the tour and you know, just all the stuff that I keep myself busy with. I do a ton of interviews, and that's the question. So we all hear it. Even when we all went to Justin's show, you know, the first kid that he saw in the front row had an Nsync shirt on. Aww. So Justin still gets it all the time. So we're not oblivious to the fact that it's out there. So there's been a lot of, you know, change in attitudes and change in the way we all feel about things. You know, there was a time where the five of us, I don't even think you could get the five of us in a room. And it's not that we didn't like each other, but it was just, you know, we kind of paired off a little bit. You know, we kind of went our own ways and did our own thing. I think that I went on tour with Justin for, you know, months at a time, and I was out there with him. I did so many shows with Joey. And I've, you know, still would meet up with JC when I was in LA, meet up with Lance when I was in LA. So, you know, we got to see each other, but getting the five of us in a room, it felt like it would be pressed. Like it would be like, oh, the five of them are getting together for what? What are they going to talk about? And none of us were really ready to do it. You know, none of us were ready to doing a tour. I can tell you, I was the one that probably was the least available or in the shape to do it. You know, as soon as we stopped with the band, here I was for 10 years of my life, waking up in the morning with a schedule under my door every day. And I'm feeling like I'm in the prime. And, you know, I used to be a club kid. I used to party. I used to, you know, go out all the time. So first thing I did was, well, you know, screw this. I'm going to go out and party and enjoy myself and learn, sit in the studio and learn my craft and learn the things that I want to learn, and just kind of checked out, which was, you know, kind of a really sad time if I look back on it. But now I wouldn't be where I was if I didn't, you know, do all that stuff. So we all had our little demons and the things that we were fighting that kind of kept it from getting back together. There was also the backlash. You know, there was a backlash. There was a time where now it's come around again where, you know, guys are still like, yeah, I hate those guys, whatever. They're one of the worst things that ever happened in music or whatever. But there was a time where everybody kind of felt like, you know, even the super fans or even people that now are like, oh, you know, we want to see you guys back. There was a time where they were like, can't you guys just go away? You know, leave us. Like, and you need that little space. We needed that 10 years or whatever it was to take that break and go, all right, well, let's, you know, do our own things. Let's disappear. Let's not be in everybody's face all the time. Let's not be on bedspreads. Let's not be on lunch boxes. You know, things that people get annoyed with, or people who don't know us as people don't understand. Like, you know, they would just assume that we were some manufactured bubblegum group that's out there to make money, and they don't care about anything but, you know, their next paycheck, and that's it. And, you know, that wasn't the case. So we needed that time, and we needed that time to break from each other as a band. And now it's kind of funny because we all get back together, or we all do certain things in certain instances, and we all kind of fall back into, you know, it's like seeing a family member or something you haven't seen since you were a child or growing up. You kind of fall back to the, oh, this is what I used to act like when I was around you. So I kind of feel like I need to act like this a little bit, and learning who we all are now, and knowing that we do, you know, I've heard all the guys talk about it so many times in interviews. We do have families, you know, we're all family people now. So, you know, getting to know us as adults is kind of part of it. And part of it is, okay, how do we reshape this now? How do we make this make sense? is what do people want? Because there's a big ask, and what do they want? If they just want us to sing the songs again, well, go see the Pop 2000 tour, because Chris is doing that, and he's doing the dance moves, he's reliving, I'll be at the Comic Cons or whatever, signing old pictures of my weird hair or whatever it is, living out my old life, trying to rekindle that, whatever it is. Or if you want to hear new stuff, Justin's, touring. Justin's going to be out there doing this. If you want to go see one of us on Broadway or something, go see Joey. He's on Broadway right now. If you want to go see a musical, JC's written a musical. He's going to have that on Broadway or wherever it is. And if you want to go see a podcast or something different, you go see Lance. So it's like you can kind of get all these sides of who we are without getting the entire band back together. So you can hear these things. So we were still trying to figure out, what are we going to do? Are we going to do let's go out and just do all the old hits together, or let's go out and do a new record together? Because we all know that when you go see an act that hasn't done anything in 20 years, go on the road, they sing the hits and you're going crazy. And then they go, now here's a new song we have coming out. And you're like, bathroom break, so it's a real hard thing to get our minds around. What do we want to do? Do we go to Vegas? Do we become a lounge act?
Sphere.
Oh, the Sphere.
Whatever it is, I think, and we all have to be on board with that. We all have to be okay with, because I think it's fine for me to go out and do all the old songs and to do all this stuff. But as a band, I'm like, I know people want to see that, but what got us to where we were was the 5 individuals coming together and making something new or making something different. And I'd want to challenge myself, and I'd want to challenge us as a band to write and get in the room and revisit some songs that we've each done and go, what if we did something like this? Or what's the new sound? Who are we working with? What could we do to kind of make something new? And battling that seesaw of old and new, and what we would want to do is kind of part of the big journey of getting us back out there.
Yeah.
How
I know
old were you?
exactly what you should do.
Nobody
asked
go to the
me.
Sphere. Go to the Sphere.
No, I think you should do like theaters, like Radio City Music Hall, like that kind of place. It's like an undersell for you because you could sell arenas. And I feel like it's like the 5 guys on a stool. I don't necessarily need the dance moves, but I want the old songs. But like the old songs, kind of reimagined, but still the same, but like you're just your voices and you're singing them, and then you're telling stories, and it's like kind of a scrapbook of those years. And then there's one section that is new. You guys know you can make a new hit because you did with the Trolls song. Like, you do a couple of the new things. Maybe you do what the Jonas Brothers did at their show in Vegas was actually really smart. They did Jonas Brothers, and then like Joe came out and did his couple hits, and then Nick came out and did his couple hits. Kevin came out and did nothing, and then and then they did more Jonas hits. Like, it actually worked really, really well. That's what I want as a fan. I'm just letting you know. Okay.
All right. Well,
you can hire her if you want.
Yeah, some of that is all right. Most of it is something we would probably not do. No, I think
You want to tell stories?
There's a lot in there that could work, and this is all hypothetical, and this is all sitting here going, hey, what are we going to do? But these are the questions that we're asking, these are the questions.
Well, you can't disappoint us,
Well, and trust me, that's the cool thing about the group is we all have parts of the group that we are good at, or we know what to do. And, and one of the things that we did well was our shows. And when we did one of our shows, we had every song was a vignette, every song you went from, we didn't walk out, I can tell you right now, whatever we do, we're not walking out and sitting on stools, because no matter how old I am or whatever I feel about myself, they won't let me, first of all. Second of all, I have restless leg and I won't be able to sit on a stool for too long anyways. But there could be something to where we do a show, old stuff, new stuff, whatever it is. And then maybe do like an after show somewhere where we do sit down and discuss the songs and do the songs, just the 5 of us, with a small band and tell the stories of the songs. But I don't see, I see whatever we do, on a more choreographed or fun stage.
He wants to hump the air in a big suit.
I don't think I ever humped the air in a big suit. That was your previous guest that liked to hump the air, legendarily known as a plexiglass stage, looking up at him humping the stage, which again,
he gave the ladies what they wanted, and
100%.
So did I. I had some great dad. Now they're called dad jokes. I've got great dad jokes. I'm funny. I'm good at a party. There you go.
All right. Looking back, what is one thing that you wish you had known about fame before you were forced into it or stepped into it?
Oh God, everything. I wish I knew everything about fame. I mean, I grew up in trailer parks. I grew up on welfare. We lived in a suburban for a few weeks. We lived in motels. We lived in places that were like, that people like me don't make it out of that stuff. It was like, it was really tough. So I didn't understand fame at all. The most famous thing I remember, like I had such a weird, barometer on what fame was that I could watch TV, and if they were like doing school closings at the time and my school went across the bottom of the TV, I thought my whole school was famous because we were just on television.
Oh my gosh.
And I thought famous people just walked around with hundreds of people surrounding them at all time and didn't ever, take a piss or they just had, it was like I didn't grasp it until, it happened. And there was just a lot that, you don't realize that it was like being a father. It's like the most prepared you can be is know that you're unprepared. And for fame, that's what it was. I just knew I was unprepared for fame. I mean, you don't rehearse being in Germany and after a show getting whisked into a van real quick and having thousands of girls beating on the van to, breaking the glass to try to get into you and sneaking into hotel rooms and all the things that used to go on. It's like, there's no training for that. There's 4 other guys on this planet that have been through those exact circumstances that I've been through. There's a lot of bands that we always talk when I did a show a few weeks ago with 98 Degrees. And that's why I like to joke about them because, they're some of my best friends, but we talk about Backstreet, we talk about the New Kids, we talk about us, O-Town, 98 Degrees, whoever, BB Mac, whoever it is, we all went to the same college, but we were in different fraternities, and that's what it was. We all knew what that school was like. We could all cross stories like, hey, I was at the library and this happened. Oh, I was at the library and that happened too. Or I was in the gym and I saw this person. And that's what it is. We get together and that's what we do. We love to tell these stories and again, catch up stories. Like, well, what have you been doing since? Like, who are you now? I ran for office. I tried to go to the moon or whatever it was. And Lance. And, it was like just hearing those different things. And that's kind of what fame was. Fame was getting to learn about all these things that you never thought you would be doing. Like I'm not egotistical at all. When heartthrob, I'm not a heartthrob. I never was a heartthrob. People look at me and go, he's cute because he's funny, or I'm the personality. Whenever somebody was going, oh, I've got a friend that's got a great personality, that's me. And I'm fine with that. I love my personality and getting used to those type of things or getting used to the criticism, and now it's changed again. Now I find myself, and I know Justin's really bad at this too, which I always want to steal his phone from him sometimes because it's like, you don't remember the 1,000 people that said how good you were. Mm-hmm. You remember the one person that said you were an ass or that you sucked or that you were like this, that's what sticks with you because suddenly now you're like, oh, is that what it is? And, and criticism's so easy to put out there because you can do it anonymously or you can just go, they're never going to see this, or I'm never going to see them on the street. Have one of those people sit across the table from you and say something that they've typed on the internet. They won't do it.
No.
Because it's a completely different bird. And this is why it's strange now living in this world of, instant acknowledgement or instant hate or instant whatever it is. Oh, I can look on and go, oh, this is why Chris sucks. Or you see, oh, they posted us, going to see Justin. This is cute. And you're reading the comments. Oh, this is great. Chris looks like an idiot or something like that. You're like, what the F? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, who is this guy? I'm going to follow him. I'm going to talk to him. Yeah. Hey, it's me. Come on over, whatever.
I'm going to show up at his doorstep and ask him to say it to my face.
Yeah, but you don't, and you don't rehearse for that stuff. You're not used to that. You don't, that's, and it's so hard for women too, especially, because a lot of women are judged on just looks alone, because they come out and they're like, oh, wow, she could kill it on stage. Do a great performance. Wow, she looked fat in that dress or something. And suddenly you're like, what does that have to do with how great her ability was? It doesn't. It just, somebody wants to stand out, and it's each individual trying to be different. It's somebody trying to say, I need to be seen. I need somebody to acknowledge me. I need to feel better about myself. So they take down people that have 1,000 likes or 1,000 comments of goodness saying, well, you're not that great.
If social media existed, like during,
we would never have gone. We wouldn't have come out. We wouldn't have made it past week 1. I don't think Joey and I would have been like tarred and feathered. we were not. I mean, we weren't clean cut. We weren't perfect. We made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of those mistakes will hide forever on a stage somewhere in Germany or wherever. But we made a lot of mistakes and a lot of things we did that we wish we could have undone, but they weren't blasted out there because people didn't know about them. You never heard.
Right. I know, it's kind of crazy. I always think about, like, even when I was prepping for this, or when we're prepping for this, or talking about Ladyworld and stuff, it's like what would, like, do you ever feel bummed that you weren't, like, social media didn't exist? Because you would have 30 million followers right now. Do you know what I mean? And the power that comes with that. But because it wasn't around during the heyday of that, people are less likely to, like, find you the way that they find, like, an Instagram influencer. Like, but then I never thought about the bad side of it, which was you got to live your life and your fame without cameras following you everywhere, I guess.
Well, there's two things to that. One is, it is a double-edged sword. With all the good comes the bad, and we still, as crazy as it was, we still had little bits of personal lives. We could still slip up or make those mistakes, and unless a paparazzi or somebody caught it, you didn't catch it. They didn't catch us in clubs. You didn't really see what we did in clubs because there was no camera phones or anything. But at the same time, there's a lot to how lucky we were to be found, or to get to where we were without that social media, or without what it is. Because now, and I started saying it before social media really hit, like even before the MySpaces or whatever it was, when like it was America's not America's Got Talent, American Idol. American Idol comes out, and I was like, this is amazing, because this is a talent search. This is going to find, because and here I am now living in Nashville, still seeing it to this day, where I go out and I'm having dinner and the waiter can sing 10 times better than I can.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you waiting tables? Why you just don't get that break, or you don't get whatever. We got so blessed and lucky with the breaks that we got. But now there is a lot of opportunities out there for everyone to be found. That talent isn't going to hide anymore, because if that talent is really that talent and they put something up, the next thing you know, it goes viral. And once it goes viral, somebody goes, hey, this is getting hits. This is getting looks, because record labels couldn't do that, in the 90s or even in the early 2000s. They weren't looking at likes. They weren't looking at followers. That wasn't even a thing. Now they can look at that and go, this translates to dollar signs, or this translates to marketability, or this translates to Justin Bieber. This translates to Billie Eilish. This translates to kids who are extremely talented. And now the world can see it. And now we can profit off of them, and we can show you how to sell records.
So true. It's insane.
Yeah. This year's Grammys, actually, I feel like we hit like a little bit of it. There was, before social media, it was all the people that you just had to sort of know the right people, get in the right rooms at labels, whatever. Then there was like a weird moment in time where some influencers were trying to be pop stars and singers, and like the talent wasn't there, but they had the fan base. And now there's like the Grammys is kind of entering like a new golden age. There's like the Benson Boones and all these people who have been grinding for all these years years, and because of social media, the talent, like the cream is really rising to the top. It's super exciting, like to see all of these people, like the waiter in Nashville, can now get on social media without any connections whatsoever. And you're right. If they're talented, and they're going to probably be successful no matter who they sleep with.
And that's yes, which is, I slept my way to the top. Obviously,
I slept my way to the middle.
Yeah. I slept my way to the bottom.
I slept my way out of my trailer park is what happened. No, but that too is another slippery slope. That's the influencer side of it, where I don't want to bash influencers, because a lot of it makes sense, but there is so much of it that you're like, what is this person doing, or how does this make sense? And I have a 7-year-old now, so I'm seeing firsthand the influence that influencers actually have. Influencer to me, I'm like, oh yeah, well, this person likes to, I don't know, build studios or something. I mean, I'd watch it for a minute and I go, yeah, I already know how to do half of that stuff. That's interesting. I like to see their takes on things, but I'm not going to follow this person. If it's on, I'm going to look at it. I do get caught up in watching weird stuff on my phone all the time, but I don't get caught up really in most. Yeah, I know. With
what's on your algorithm?
But don't look at my algorithm. It's
what is your algorithm, Chris? Jack Vanek's algorithm is dread and frogs. How would you describe yours?
Dread and mine is probably smut and artwork. Like it's just weird. It's weird.
Wow.
Like smut it's just and artwork.
Yeah, it's
like
just
Colleen
strange.
Hoover.
No, I don't even know what that means.
Smut isn't
smut is like smut books is like
it's
romance
like
novels
soft
for us.
Porn romance.
But is there smut art?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts. I mean, my algorithm, if you looked, you would be going through and it's like 1 second you're watching some guy build a random cabin in the woods out of the sticks that he gathers. And then suddenly there's a girl jogging by with big boobs or something. And you're like, wait,
that's
what?
literally my husband's.
Yeah.
Or it's like somebody working on the cabin, but she has massive tits.
Right. Or she's doing it in a G-string.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great because I love watching the cabin being built, but I also like the process of this lady
bending over
the cabin.
This is amazing because I was literally
we have a new concept for HGTV. Like, why have they not tapped this market yet?
It already exists.
Yeah, on HGTV, Joanna Gaines is not in a G-string.
No.
Joanna Gaines.
Joanna
Gaines. So I'm thinking putting some butterflies up in this room. Maybe I'll take one of the butterflies off of my bikini that I'm wearing.
Or like on my pasties.
My pasty.
Yeah. I will take my one pasty off.
Oh my God.
Thank you for your honesty.
I literally was like, there's no way Chris knows what smut is. And then he said that and I was like, no, he knows.
Yeah. No, it's all over. It really is.
Such a man.
It's
such
like,
a man.
it's odd things. Like I really, even on my TV, my wife walks in and she's like, and I know this is not the smut part, but she'll walk in and she'll just be like, what are you watching? Like she'll see me. I watched like the woodworking thing or something where people are building, crafting. I love to watch a lot of these craft shows. And then I'll be watching some weird 60s sci-fi movie that's badly dubbed and horribly gone wrong. So it's like, and all this, and then I do a lot of random shopping on Facebook, which I find is very odd.
Like shopping for what?
Whatever it is. I couldn't even put that into a category because it could be anything.
Gadgets?
Gadgets, stupid stuff. Like my wife's Christmas this year, she was like, wow, how did you find time to find all this? I was like, when I was scrolling through Facebook,
Wow, the algorithm has you.
Weird stuff of like, I got her this weird looking, looks like a wooden log, and you open it, it's a picture of us, and then you can flip it up another way, and it's a different picture of us and our kid. She's like, where did you even find this? What?
Was she a fan of that?
If she said, how did you find this? It meant she did not like it.
No.
Ouch. I guess that is kind of true.
Chris, what is the most cringeworthy thing that you did in the name of maintaining like the superstar image?
Oh man, that goes. There's a lot. There's a lot there to unpack. I think most of it is when my child sees pictures or does things and is like, Dad, which one's you? And I'm like, well, you know what Lance looks like, you know what Joey looks like, you know what JC and Justin look like. That's me. And he gives me the, you're like, oh, yeah, that might have been. Or, and you can't see it right now, but I have, we're going through bins up in the attic of here, and I found so much old wardrobe and old things, and wardrobe especially. Don't wear it. Like that's like something like I have a shirt and I'm like, oh, I used to wear this on stage, and I put it on. I'm like, this shirt hurts. Like this is not. It's like cardboard. It's not comfortable because it's made for stage, and we've probably washed it 5 billion times till it turns into that hard, crappy cardboard like material. So there's a lot of hairstyles. There's a lot of looks. There's a lot of things, but at the same time, it wouldn't have been what it was had we not dressed like that. Had not Justin and Brittany put on Canadian tuxedos, we wouldn't have a picture. We wouldn't have parties where people dress up as Justin and Brittany at the party. You wouldn't have.
I did do
these
that
things.
as a Halloween costume.
You wouldn't have. Hold on.
Oh,
what?
No.
On earth.
You wouldn't have hairstyles or.
My God, he's in a dreaded ponytail.
Goggles,
with goggles.
With
this
goggles.
was somebody gave me this.
That was like just
had that
available to you.
Yeah. I told you that's my life. That's my life. It's
you.
all. It's right here. That was that's going through all these old memories and all this old stuff that I have laying around here.
Does your kid think you're so lame?
My kid?
Yeah, or do they think you're cool?
Kind of. Trolls helped a little bit.
Trolls
kind of turned it around. But I kind of think I'm a cool dad anyways. And my wife and I were just talking about it, that all the neighbors always come over here, which is great. His buddies, we had a sleepover 2 nights ago with a bunch of his buddies at the house. And
cute.
And we enjoy, being a host house or whatever it is. But I found the key to my son never thinking I'm not cool or not liking me is to get in really good with his friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when his buddies are all like, wow, like, look what your dad did, or their parents like, oh, he's cool because this is who he is. They keep putting it. I don't have to force him. I'm not like, dad used to be cool or dad used to do this. It's like his buddies are doing it. So he's like, that's cool. Or I catch him watching old YouTube Nsync YouTube videos and doing the choreography or things, which is kind of cool. And that's kind of a full circle moment.
Okay, my last question is, one of the, I kind of said this before, but one of the reasons that we were so excited to have you at Ladyworld was because you do mean so much to so many people. Like, take all the ridiculous hats and stuff and big suit jokes and stuff like that. But you are the soundtrack to our youth. You know what I mean? And that is, it's a responsibility, but also you mean so much. And when we think about getting our, 5,000 friends together in Florida on the beach outside and listening to these songs, even though you're like, I've been singing this song for 25 years, what does it mean to you to look out and see an audience of people that literally know every word and have sung this song from when it first came out throughout their entire lives? That's got to be so meaningful to you, Chris.
Well, I can tell you one of the main things about the band, and about myself especially, but about the band that makes us so special is the fact that we do not take that power lightly, and we understand it because we were all there. We all talk about, I can remember, really young. I don't even think Lance was in the band or whatever, laying on the floor, Justin and I just sitting there talking about the future, talking about music and who we idolized and who we looked up to. And now, I remember Justin talking about Timberland all the time. He loved Timberland. He loved Timberland, Magoo, Missy Elliott. That was his thing. And the next thing you know, now he's working with Timberland, and he saw that going from being a fan of something to getting to work with that person or getting to actually be respected. I would think one of the main moments in his life would be the first time he sat down with him and Justin said, "What about this?" And seeing Timberlake go, "Yo, that's amazing." And Justin going, "Wow, the guy that I just looked up to looked at me and said, that's amazing." But we all have those people in our lives that we've looked up to and got those full circle moments. So when anybody, if a fan or somebody comes up to me and they're like, "You don't understand," the minute they start off with that, I always stop them and go, "Hold on a second. We do.
Yeah.
We get it." Just because we hear it a lot, or just because it seems like, whatever, this timing might be bad and I might not really acknowledge it like you want me to acknowledge it. I could be busy with this, or this is something where we have to move people through quick and I can't give you the time that you deserve. We still understand, and we were still all there, and we still get it, because this was a time where, and what we did was, we were mostly teenage girls, but that time where girls are going, "I'm a little girl, I'm a little girl, I'm a little girl. I like this. I like Barbies. I like this," to suddenly, "Oh, I'm changing. There's something about me that's different now. I don't really like to play with Barbies anymore, but I'm really infatuated by Ken for some reason. There's something about Hanson. There's something about the Backstreet Boys, or there's something about JTT that I'm getting these weird feelings about, and we're growing up through that era. We're growing up through that time to where the focus 100% of the time is Jonathan Taylor Thomas. I have pictures of him all over my wall. There's pictures everywhere. This is amazing. I love him so much. I'm going to marry him. I'm writing his name all over my book. And you're talking, you talk for like 3-4 years maybe of this going on. So now you become an adult. Now you get married. You don't marry JTT. You marry, the love of your life. You marry a certain person. You have a kid, and now you have families, and you go, "Wow, what a time." That was crazy that all happened to me, and all these changes and whatever was going on, and what he did, the show that he was on, or the pictures that he had up, or the songs that they made were so life-changing to me that I feel attached to this person that has never even met me or doesn't even know me. And that's the power I'm talking about. That's the power of when somebody walks up and starts talking to me, like I'm like, "Oh, hi, stranger." And they start just spitting out like, "Oh," like they're totally comfortable because they've known me for 30 years. So they feel comfortable with me. They feel comfortable. They've watched interviews that I've done. They've watched me on, for God's sakes, Big Brother, who you saw everything all day long of what I did and all these things. They feel like they know me that well. I don't know them to save my life. I've never met them before. But there's the weird side of it to where I go, "Listen, I know where you're coming from. And believe it or not, I know who you are. I don't know you, but I know who you are, and I get it because I know the fact that I was there with you all this time. I can't relate. I can't tell you your brother's name. I can't tell you your dad's name. I can't tell you the house. I can't tell you where you're from, but I can tell you that I understand I was there. And that means a lot. And that, just understanding that and knowing that we have that ability and that special gift of changing people's lives or being able to go, we were there with thousands, maybe millions of people that I've never even met or don't even know or don't know the first thing. I've got a lot of friends. I have a, big friend circle, but these people aren't in my circle. I've never met them. I don't know them, or maybe I've seen them in passing or something. So you don't know, but you still feel that we get it. Like we get it. We know we don't know you, but we were there and we understand what we meant to you. And we don't take that lightly.
I love it.
I
hope that wasn't like a weird brag or something like that. Wasn't like a, "Oh yeah, we're a big deal," whatever. But it is weird. And it's tough to understand when someone walks up to you and starts talking to you like they've known you for 50 years or jokes. Or I love it when, if they're like, they call JC Josh or they call Justin JT or whatever it is. And you're like, "Oh, we don't really call them that." Like, I don't know why you're that friendly with them or whatever. But, it's one of those things that you can't take lightly. And you have to understand that they're talking to me like they know me because they do.
All right. If you want to follow Chris, He is. I am C. Kirkpatrick on Instagram. The Pop 2K tour is coming to a city near you, but most importantly, it's coming to Destin, Florida in September. But most importantly, before you go, I have been requested by Kali, who does our social media, to know about the Shiny Tooth song.
My Shiny Teeth and Me.
Can you sing a little?
Well, the funny thing about that is, and there was a time, especially like right after the group disbanded for a while, that cartoon came out. So there was a weird jump from kids that knew me from the band to kids that just know me from as this cartoon voice. And that even came about as just like me being a fan of cartoons, talking to some of the Nickelodeon people and Butch Hartman saying, hey, would you come in and do a voice for this character? And I was like, sure. Went in and did a voice. They're like, yeah, we have a little song for it too. Did the song. Hey, can you come in and do another one? And, I did like 4 or 5 episodes of it and did a couple little songs each time. And suddenly it was like, there were kids that I went back and spoke at a school of elementary kids, and they were like, yeah, some of you guys might know him from Nsync. And it was like cricket. And the teachers were like, yeah, that's my favorite. I love it. And then it's like, and some of you might know him as the voice of Chip Skylark. And the kids stood up and were screaming. Heads were blowing off. It was called The Fairly Odd Parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was about 2 godparents and this kid, Timmy Turner, and he would make wishes. And they would always grant his wishes. And I was like I harken back to the Jetsons, like the Jet Screamer, who was like the teen idol of the time, and just would come in and all these things would happen. Like the babysitter was in love with me, and I had a huge concert at the Enormo Dome, whatever it was in this town. And she kidnaps me and takes me hostage. And then there was another one about my shiny teeth and how they were dwindling away. So it was my shiny teeth and me. It was just this little song that like, I get requests on Cameo sometimes, and
my
God,
God,
you just sing the Shiny Teeth song?
That's
and I'm like,
hilarious.
What? Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, Kali, we have Chris Kirkpatrick coming on. I'm not asking about the shiny teeth. She's like, you don't understand the power of the shiny teeth. All right, Chris, we've kept you long enough. We will see you in Florida. We're so freaking excited. Thank you for doing this. These were a lot of amazing stories. I feel even more indebted into the fandom, and we will see you next Tuesday.